We've all been there, right? Standing on the edge of something big,
Yeah.
maybe starting a business, or a huge life change.
That moment of hesitation.
Exactly. And instead of jumping in, we sort of hedge our bets, keeping a ski patch open.
We dip a toe in the water and pretend we're swimming.
Yeah, and that half measure, keeping one foot ready to bolt, it's actually pretty damaging, isn't it?
It really is, because if you only give it half your effort, you never truly find out what could have happened.
You don't know if it failed because it was genuinely impossible.
Or because you just didn't commit enough.
And that uncertainty, that nagging, what if I just gone all in, that's the thing that keeps you up at night.
Absolutely. It's a corrosive feeling.
So today, our mission is to really dig into this idea of full commitment. We're exploring the psychology behind it, this concept of self-authorship, and honestly, the relief that comes from finally knowing.
The relief of looking yourself in the mirror and saying, okay, I gave it everything. I found out.
Yeah, no more ambiguity.
And look, the point here isn't that full commitment guarantees success. It doesn't.
What does it guarantee then?
Clarity. It guarantees clarity. You find out definitively, okay, this path isn't for me, or
that powerful feeling of, oh yeah, this is absolutely for me.
that knowledge, that finding out, is the real reward of going all in, removing the what if.
Okay, let's unpack that. Where do we start? There's this foundational idea you mentioned about integrity.
Right, the mandate of full commitment. It boils down to a simple rule, really, Sado.
Say what you can do what you say.
Exactly. It's about personal integrity, first and foremost, not just, ambition for show.
And it protects you from something you called over-leveraging a decision. What does that mean?
Well, we see it constantly. Someone announces a massive goal like, I'm going to write a novel this year. Huge expectations are set.
The announcement is huge.
Huge announcement, yeah. But then the actual follow-through, the work, it's tentative. It's that toe dip again.
When they've already verbally committed to the full dive.
Precisely. The real commitment, the decision, needs to happen before the announcement, before the action even starts, quietly, internally.
And once you've made that call,
Then when it's go time, you have to, as the phrase goes, dive, finish it. No looking back, no escape hatches.
because if you leave room for excuses, you end up fighting that ghost of if only.
And that ghost is the real enemy of making any progress at all.
It's interesting how this reframes our view of accomplishments, too.
How so?
Well, you pointed out we get so caught up in being impressed by what we've already done, our titles, past wins.
Right, resting on laurels.
Yeah. But the insight here is the faster we become less impressed with ourselves, with our resume, and more involved in the actual work,
The nitty-gritty, the process.
the better we actually get at whatever it is we're doing.
That's a huge mental shift. So if you're, say, a CEO,
You stop being impressed with the title CEO and get way more involved in the 10,000 messy tasks it takes to actually be a good CEO.
yes, your ego loves the title, but true commitment loves the process, the grind.
It moves the focus from the shiny outcome to the repeatable, often difficult daily actions.
And that intense focus on process naturally leads us into this whole area of identity, self-authorship.
Which, let's be honest, figuring out who you really are is hard work. It can take years.
It really can. But there's a kind of shortcut proposed, almost like an algebraic equation for self-knowledge.
Algebra. Okay, I'm listening.
It's the logic of subtraction. Instead of trying to pinpoint your true self directly, which can feel overwhelming.
Paralyzing even.
Yeah. The advice is eliminate who you are not first.
Get rid of the things that don't sit.
Exactly. By sheer process of elimination, getting rid of the bullshit in your life, the bad habits, the obligations that drain you, the clutter, you automatically start moving closer to what actually feeds your soul.
Huh. It's easier to identify what you don't want than what you do.
Often, yes. And as you clear that negative space and start filling it with things you are committed to, you step into this idea of owning yourself.
Or being, as the philosophy puts it, more full of ourselves, which sounds potentially arrogant.
Right, it needs careful framing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not about ego or being conceited. It's about self-accountability.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Being full of yourself in this sense means studying yourself enough to know your real strengths, your limits, holding yourself to task.
So it's internal.
Deeply internal. It means having the honesty to pat yourself on the back when you succeed through your own effort. Like, good job, that's what you aimed for and you earned it.
Okay, I get the self-patting part. But how do you stop that from just becoming arrogance? What's the check?
The check is that same rigorous honesty applied to your failings. Self-ownership also means you have to crack your own whip. when you mess up.
When you knew better or cut corners.
Precisely. You own the failures with the same clarity as the successes. You're just gathering data points on your own patterns, your own behavior.
And that ownership, that honest assessment,
Yeah.
is what allows you to actually move on from mistakes.
Right. Absolutely. Mistakes happen. They're inevitable. The key is owning them, making amends if needed, and then crucially, moving forward.
There's a stark warning in the material about this. Guilt and regret kills many a man before their time.
It's a slow poison. Keeps you stuck in the past.
But there's that beautiful metaphor. You're the author of your own life's book.
Right. Every day, a new page, a new chapter. You and only you have the power to turn that page, to stop rereading the parts that hurt and commit to writing the next act.
So once you start owning that narrative, you can begin to actually design the life you want. This leads us to the idea of satisfaction.
Yeah, the science of satisfaction, because while happiness itself isn't something you can just guarantee.
No magic button.
No magic button, unfortunately, but you can engineer things to increase your overall sense of satisfaction. There's a process.
And that process starts by looking backward.
Kind of. You look at times in your past when you genuinely felt content or satisfied, those happy segments.
When you analyze them.
You analyze the habits that were present then. Maybe it was daily discipline, a particular routine, maybe you were checking in with yourself more often, or consciously appreciating things.
Things you normally take for granted.
Exactly. So if you find yourself in a rut now, you can sort of reverse engineer it. What did you start doing? What maintenance did you let slide?
That requires real discernment, though. Making active choices about what you value.
It does. And here's the tough pill to swallow. If something truly has meaning, whether it's a relationship, a business, a creative project, it will require maintenance.
It's not going to be easy all the time.
Not at all. Things with value, they break down sometimes, they cause pain, they can really suck. That's just part of the deal. It's the cost of meaning.
Accepting that difficulty seems key to finding real gratitude then.
Totally, because true gratitude isn't about being some kind of delusional optimist running around pretending everything's perfect.
Ignoring the suffering.
Right. That's flimsy and frankly unsustainable. True gratitude comes from perspective.
How do you mean?
It's about going underneath where we are, mentally visiting lesser, harder situations. Not necessarily extreme ones like, being in jail.
Okay, maybe less extreme example.
Right. But the principle is sound. Thinking, okay, I'm stressed and tired working on this project.
Thank goodness I have a meaningful project instead of being bored and stagnant.
Exactly that. It reframes the struggle. It gives the present moment, even with its difficulties, more value, more meaning.
So stress stops feeling like just a curse and more like a sign that you're engaged in something important.
Yes. And that genuine gratitude built on perspective, it makes you more resilient, more generous, and it doesn't just benefit you.
It ripples outward.
It becomes like a positive epidemic. It works better for you, yes, but it also improves things for everyone involved in your life or work.
Okay, so we've covered commitment, self-authorship, satisfaction. This leads to maybe the toughest part, dealing with fear, alchemizing it.
Yeah, turning fear from lead into gold, essentially. Because when a real personal truth hits you, that moment of clarity about who you need to be or what you need to do.
It feels amazing, right? Like a lightning bolt and a butterfly at the same time. So clear.
Beautifully clear in that moment. But then morning comes.
And you have to go back out into the world.
Back to the masses, back to everyone whose perception of you is still based on who you were.
Oh. So the hard part isn't just finding the truth.
No, the really hard part is trusting that truth, holding on to it, and acting on it consistently, even when the world hasn't caught up yet. Having the patience to live it out.
And we naturally hesitate, especially when things feel hard or scary. We ask, why pursue this if it demands vulnerability?
And the simple, powerful answer the sources give is, because it cost me something.
The cost itself gives it value.
Think about a fight. Right. It's not really a fight unless there's a genuine chance you could lose.
The stakes have to be real.
Exactly. It's only in those moments where something is truly on the line, those challenging experiences, that you feel intensely more alive. The cost creates earned value.
So the advice isn't to ignore fear or pretend it doesn't exist.
Quite the opposite. You have to stop denying it. That fear of rejection, fear of asking for the promotion, fear of failure. You need to name it. Declare it out loud.
Admit it's there. Give the obstacle credit.
Yes. Giving it credit is crucial because when you acknowledge the fear, look it squarely in the eye, one of two things tends to happen.
Okay.
Either you see its true size and find the courage to face it down because now it's a defined opponent, not a vague dread,
Yeah.
or you look at it clearly and realize, you know what? This particular obstacle, it's actually not really worth prevailing over. The cost is too high for this specific thing.
So naming it brings clarity, either courage or release.
Exactly. Giving fear credit is the key to getting unstuck.
And this ties back perfectly to the idea of earning things. You see people stuck for ages, maybe waiting for that perfect job with the perfect salary.
Waiting for the ideal conditions before they'll commit. 10 years go by.
Right. But this philosophy suggests maybe it's better to just choose something.
Choose something you feel drawn to, even if it's not perfect, like the lesser paying job you actually love. And just dive in. Commit fully.
Spend that decade breaking a proverbial sweat on it.
Yes. Because that experience, that effort is incredibly valuable in itself. We truly remember the stuff we earn.
The resilience you build, the genuine optimism that comes from knowing you built something yourself.
It becomes part of you. You know how you got there because you lived the process, fully committed.
Wow. This whole journey, it seems to lead to this really interesting paradox about freedom.
Which is?
That there's a responsibility to freedom and that there is freedom and responsibility.
Say more about that.
Well, it suggests true freedom isn't just doing whatever you want or doing nothing. It actually requires more responsibility.
Responsibility to what?
To yourself. To
Yeah.
constantly investigating, interrogating, pushing towards your better self. It demands ongoing commitment to that internal work.
That really does synthesize everything we've talked about, doesn't it? Stop the half measures. Own your story's successes and failures. Build satisfaction through conscious habits. And use fear not as a stop sign, but as a compass.
But it also highlights a trap we fall into. We're so focused on the end result, aren't we?
Always chasing the ta-da moment.
Yeah, that final point of arrival. Pure enlightenment, where everything is perfect and stays that way.
And the final thought we wanted to leave you with, maybe a bit provocative, is this. You have to get comfortable with the fact that we never land.
There's no ultimate finish line.
No final ta-da. We're all just achieving our way towards something that's ultimately unachievable, that perfect ideal self. We're constantly in pursuit.
And accepting that ongoing process, that chase.
That is as good as it gets.
No.
And you know what? That's actually pretty damn awesome.